Okay, we're live, gents. Didn't see you there. Didn't see you there. What's up, YouTubers? Welcome to the very first LonelyFans podcast of 2022. I am your host, Carson Daly, and joined by the usual suspects, a fun guy and the birthday boy himself, Albie. And tonight we're going to discuss the Green Hornet. And before we do, I just want to say Frank Caliendo was never funny. Okay, so let's go and kick this off. The Green Hornet, guys.
You know what? Since you said it was my birthday, I will kick it off. Because if I'm doing the math right, 11 years ago, on my birthday, me and my brother, a couple of other friends, we first went to the Chili's in Woodbridge. Had quite a meal. I'm pretty sure I had one of their appetizers with sliders and Southwest, East egg rolls, whatever. And then this was the weekend where the Green Hornet premiered, and we watched it in glorious 3D. And I'll say this: my first impressions was I definitely my first impression was decent. Like, I was entertained. I knew we were seeing a superhero movie, but we were also seeing not just a Seth Rogen movie, but a Seth Rogen / Evan Goldberg, script movie, And so I definitely enjoyed it the first time I saw it. I remember watching again like 2 years ago, or actually a year ago, and I realized actually this is a lot better than like how I remembered in the first place. Like, the chemistry between Seth Rogen and Jay Cho were actually like pretty good. I like the bond that they have, similar to like what Jonah Hill and Michael Cera were probably like in Superbad. Seth Rogen and James Franco in Pineapple Express. There was an interesting bond between the two. Fight scenes were decently choreographed, and also Black Beauty. Those sequences were actually like pretty fun to watch. Probably, dare I say, a lot more entertaining than even some of the, Humvee Batmobile in say Dark Knight. Maybe different tone, different thing, but there's definitely I don't know, had a lot more fun like rewatching those in there. A lot more other reasons why I like it, but I figure I'd start with those reactions there.
I mean, objectively speaking, yes, those scenes with the Black Beauty is better than what we've probably seen in Nolan's Batverse, I would say.
True.
The dude drove half a damn car in the last floor.
Right.
When he said get in the car, I was like, what is he going to do? I just want to say
front wheel drive.
I was about to say, you saw it 11 years ago, and here you are 11 years later, finally getting the opportunity to talk about it on a platform.
Talk about a platform. Talk about it with such enthusiasm, because it did get overlooked because you tried to talk about other people, and people are like, "Oh, I didn't." Most people probably went like, "Oh, I didn't really watch it," and I go like, "Oh, okay, never mind." So, got you guys to watch it. So that was nice.
Yeah, honestly, first impression was like I liked it because I wanted to watch it when it first came out 11 years ago, and I never got around to watching it till you guys mentioned it recently. And I actually genuinely liked it. I'm trying to think why this movie didn't do so well. And then after the movie, I went to go read the reviews, and I'm like, I don't really agree with a lot of them. But then that's why we have our own opinions, so we don't have to fucking listen to people like
that. Right.
I would say I really like I like Christopher Waltz. Sorry, it's Bunchowski or Monowski. Like at the end, he's like trying to figure out her name. He's like, "Call me Blood." Bunchowski's like, honestly, it sounds fucking stupid. And he's got the double barrel gun.
Right.
When he murks James Franco.
James Franco accidentally kills Edward Furlong with it because he got like, a lot of intimidating men come in a suit, and then that was like quite a way to go.
I like the action sequences, kind of reminiscent of Sherlock Holmes when he was like trying to pan. I don't know if who did Sherlock Holmes, who produced those, or
Guy Ritchie.
Guy Ritchie,
Directed them. Yeah.
just like King Arthur. I was like, this seems like it's
He
Guy
did.
Ritchie stuff.
That's interesting. Yeah, this one was directed by Michel Gondry, who directed Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Oh, good
Ooh,
film. Great
yeah.
film.
So if you're thinking kooky visuals, Michel Gondry is actually another good example. He directed a Be Kind Rewind when Jack Black and formerly known as Mos Def, now he's a Yassim, but they both, try to remake all these movies, in such a low budget. And yeah. So, there's a quirkiness to the visuals, but I think it worked well. Something different in the superhero movies that came out at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun guy, what do you think of the Green Hornet?
So a lot of people that the common watchers and reviewers, I guess we've seen, have said it's bad. This movie's underrated as a superhero film. If you take when it came out and what it was up against, of course it was overshadowed, right? But watching it again, the special effects aren't bad. The acting isn't bad for what it's trying to do. You got to put it in scope of what the Green Hornet film is trying to do, right? Special effects weren't bad. Carvey wasn't bad. The slow motion with the bullet time, the special ability throughout the film isn't a bad idea. The gun isn't a bad idea. And you also have to look what it's based off of. So I want to know what are people comparing it to movies in this genre that have the same feel? Most likely not, right? It seems like the movie that's fun to dislike. If you say it's bad, no one's going to challenge you, right?
True.
We're three of the people that'll challenge it. I respect that people don't like it, but it's really not that bad as a film in its genre, at least. I'm like, hold on. It's a quirky billionaire superhero film based off the TV show Green Hornet. How many people actually watch Green Hornet from our generation? Probably not many before or after the movie. I've seen a few episodes. I know Batman's Adam West's Batman replaced it. I know that much.
Oh,
they even crossovered. They crossovered a couple of times.
They did.
Wow.
They did. Most don't know that. So if you're based it off the TV show, I want to see. Let me know if any reviewers based it off the TV show, or gave credit where credit is due when it comes to what it's trying to do. A fun, romp, vigilante film. It's not too serious. It's not taking itself too seriously. It was doing Deadpool stuff before Deadpool made it cool as a superhero film. Not super powered film, but superhero.
Yeah. I mean, the two movies that came out before it, like maybe a couple of years, but around the time that movie came out, Dark Knight has already came out and Iron Man has already came out.
Yeah.
So those were two also like, vigilante, like
blockbusters,
superhero movies, blockbusters and stuff.
Billionaire superhero movies. You're right. We got three: Green Hornet, Iron Man, and Batman. You're right.
And Dark Knight was clearly going for the more darker epic, and it was great. And Iron Man was the more, it was a blockbuster movie, but it had like an indie spirit with Jon Favreau directing it, having no script either, and pretty much having Robert Downey Jr. improvise most
making the movie.
Yeah.
Jon Favreau is a great director from what I've seen.
Yeah, he's great. But I felt like Green Hornet was trying to do something a little bit different here. You were taking like kind of like the humor you get similar humor you get from a Seth Rogen movie, but Seth Rogen was kind of going a little bit different from character because he was playing like a spoiled billionaire son rather than the kind of the fat slob from like Knocked Up or 40-Year-Old Virgin. So he was going for that, angle, trying to find like understand what his purpose or understand legacy, because he was struggling with that legacy because his father wasn't the greatest towards him. So it was a complicated legacy for him. And I kind of liked, that direction they were going with. And also a heavy reliance on like Kato.
Heavy reliance. Kato's the star, man. What's the actor's name again?
Jake Cho.
Jake Cho. I want to see him in more. I have to see what else he's in.
He's actually a Taiwanese pop star.
Yes, I read that. I did do some homework.
Yeah.
I
think
I was so
someone call him the Asian Usher of that era.
oh my god, I hated when his dad pulled the head off the action figure. Man, that was messed up. In the beginning of the film,
Breaking his dreams,
he's like, "You think I like doing this
Hey.
to you?"
destroying his dreams.
Yeah.
Early
And
dream
it
crusher.
stuck with him because then he took the head off of his statue, and that's
Yeah.
how everything sort of like rolled from there too. Yeah.
Yep.
So
Also, I liked how they first bonded because they both were like, they both kind of like hated his dad. So
His dad was
that
not trying to be
cool.
likable to his
Yeah.
son, or I guess trusted staff or
Yeah.
retainers. Retainers
Yeah.
were retinue. It's retinue. This is probably a better word. Kato was part of his retinue or retainer.
and it all started because he had shitty coffee too. He's just like, why does my coffee taste like shit? So when you
Makes
guys
sense
mentioned,
for us.
when you guys mentioned,
Billionaire's kid.
they're trying to go different directions. When I was reading the reviews, I'm like, yeah, I watched it. I was like, what the hell was the issue? Why didn't people like it? Some people are writing miscast and all that, but I think when it comes to that, that's an excuse. If you can't suspend disbelief that that's not Seth Rogen, it's somebody else, that's on you. And then
Yeah.
you know what I mean. That's why I don't like that excuse. Oh, it just didn't seem like it fit. It's like he fit the role fine. If you think about it, he is essentially Iron Man, except he didn't develop that arc of heroism until like the end of the film, which is totally relatable. Whereas Tony was in a cave and all that shit. But yeah, to your point, like I liked Kato. To me, Kato was one of my favorite parts of the movie because he was such a badass. And like I was gonna ask a fun guy, what was that machine he was using to like practice martial arts on? Like this metal.
It was a machine.
Yeah. It's the
was
one that
like-
had like Seth Rogen's picture at the end of it when he kicked him out of the house. Like he like stuck Seth Rogen's face on it when he was at home or something like that.
I gotta see. Was it a wooden dummy?
No, it was like
it's
a
similar
metal
to
thing.
wooden dummy. It was like more plastic, but pretty much it's supposed to swivel when it swivels, and you're supposed to when you hit it. It
Like a spar bar, like boxers use.
Yeah.
That's not the
that's
name
what
of
it is.
it, but the rotating sticks or you hit, you have to use reflexes to dodge. Like if you do a hook here, it spins over.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about. If that's what he was using,
Yeah, and I like
you can
his,
show a picture if you want.
I like his intelligence too, like his ability to
Kato's
develop that gas gun.
Yeah,
I like
the
Yeah,
car
I like
modification,
gas.
the espresso machine. Like,
He was like, "Why do I get one and you don't get one?" And he goes like, "Because you're so special."
nice. Also, him admitting that Kato is the brains and everything else behind the operation early on is like, man, what do you do? What'd you do for my dad? Just before they put
he
the
started
mask
as
on.
his mechanic and kind of went like further from there and stuff.
Excellent.
I also like kind of like the contrast. Like clearly, Britt Reed wants to find purpose, but's clearly not doing the right amount of work for him. So Kato's doing all this work, doing all the tech and stuff, while Britt Reed was busy thinking about what costume to wear and stuff, while looking like a total douchebag. Or when Kato's working out, he's doing like free weights and all that, and then Britt Reed's on a Bowflex.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Bowflex. Chuck Norris uses it. Sponsors.
Sorry, I didn't mean to offend Chuck Norris.
It's fine.
But,
He comes down and kicks off our stream. What'd you say about Bowflex?
I go, hey, no, nothing. You don't know my address. We live in Tennessee.
Actually, Chuck Norris doesn't use Bowflex. He uses the Bowflex is used to hold the earth down. Something like that. I made that up. It's bad, but I tried.
I get what you're trying to say.
Me too. He does gravity.
But I like that fusion though. Like, he's the billionaire, but he's not like Batman. He's not like Tony Stark. He is similar to like a lazy slob that just takes a lot longer to really understand his purpose. And I was okay with that watching the movie because it was like pretty entertaining,
Yeah.
And he had to learn the lessons hard.
They didn't start off as heroes. Now they said we're gonna infiltrate the criminal underworld.
Yeah.
To know what criminals are doing. They didn't even have the same angle, right? So that's really different approach. I mean, other superheroes such as Batman have aliases that go under the layman area or criminal underworld, but these guys started off as that, which was it's a different angle. I like that. The show did the same thing, right? Are there
Yeah.
thieves or something?
Yeah, the TV show. I watched the clip, and technically, I think Batman thought Green Hornet was his nemesis or something, to the point where Kato and Robin were fighting. Guess who won that fight?
Robin.
I hope it
Being
was
that Kato was played by Bruce Lee, so
Yeah.
Burt
I hope
Ward.
they didn't have Robin win.
You telling me Burt Ward didn't beat Bruce Lee?
maybe there's a secret thing, just like Apollo and Rocky. They had a secret fight, and they didn't tell anyone who actually won.
Oh yeah,
it's
well Rocky said it later. He said your dad won, and then Creed, you're lying.
Oh yeah, in Creed. Yeah,
He didn't say you're lying.
That
I
was
think he
beautiful.
said, I forgot what Creed said after Rocky said that. I have to watch it again. That's in Creed 1, Part 1.
There was one thing that I noticed right off the bat though that I was like, okay, I bet you he's going to be part of the mob, or he works for the mob. Was when David Harbour's character Scanlon. I was like, and I saw him in the beginning. I was like, okay, yeah, I know where this is going with him. At some point, he's going to be revealed as something. But like when
it's one of those examples of you're too nice, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I was like, there's something that's going to come from this. Yeah, the irony of how he was like trying to fight for that flash drive, and there was nothing on it.
Here's a flash drive. Gotcha.
Yeah.
There's nothing. Yeah, it's funny.
I would say this had a really strong third act. I really liked it.
Yeah.
Especially when he's like, he goes inside the restaurant. He's like, the Green Hornet's in the car. Don't move. And then you see Christopher Waltz's character goes, there's nobody in there. It's a bluff. Go in the store.
So
right.
Good. So good.
I bet he's able to control
Christopher
and
Waltz
then
always excellent.
that highway chasing was like awesome. Like, like the way they're not only were they using Black Beauty, but then how Kato had to get out of the car and jump in the other car and stuff. Like, I was like, man, this is like.
And speaking of cool
awesome.
scenes, the first setup during the day when they buried the car, when they supposed to show up, that was great. That's underrated as a cool scene. It's a funny, cool scene.
Super ridiculous, completely ridiculous. But this is coming from a campy like radio.
Yeah,
like,
it's supposed to be
show,
campy.
So.
TV show from the 50s. People are missing. It's like if the Adam West Batman movie wasn't like the show at all. That's what people complain, and it was. It was supposed to be with bat repellent. I mean, shark bat repellent. Goofing again, shark repellent. My brain didn't want to accept shark repellent as reality.
Right.
It's when they blew up that car that killed his boy. It's how he became Blood Chavnovsky.
Bloodnovsky. It was like be it my mask or be it your blood red is the last color you'll ever see. I thought it was really funny. This was also Christoph Waltz coming off of his fame of Inglourious Bastards.
Right.
So it's funny to see
Inglourious Bastards came out
before
after this?
Before.
Really?
Yeah. This came out before. So I don't know. I'm sure he had a couple of other roles after Inglourious Bastards, but this is one of like the first ones that he did, and it's kind of funny see him go from a Nazi to a mob boss that's going through a midlife crisis. Like, what are you saying? I don't look scary? I thought it was funny when he, like James Franco was going like, man, you look like Santa Claus, like sad Santa.
Did you say
Claus.
Disco Santa Claus?
Disco Santa Claus.
I think that's what he said.
And he goes like, what do you mean I don't look scary? I have a double-barrel gun. That's not scary enough for you?
Sure. He's like, no.
Yeah.
That whole conversation was my favorite part of the movie.
Oh, with Franco?
That's one of my favorite parts because you got Franco being a douche and you got Bludnovsky's slowly just not intimidated, normal thing, leaves the briefcase. That was a great scene. I can't take it away from that. That set the pace.
Sorry.
No, go ahead. What were you going to say?
You guys do know Nicolas Cage was originally going to play that role.
No.
Where James was?
No, he was originally going to play Chudnovsky.
We already have Face Off. We already know how that goes.
But what was weird, and this is what Seth Rogen said, when they were meeting, Nicolas Cage was insistent he do a Jamaican accent.
Why?
Oh, hell no. Thank God Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
Wait, why?
No, I don't know.
I'd be like, Nick, Face Off.
Hey, Face Off was great. Face Off was one of the greatest movies ever. I don't care what people say, but that doesn't mean
I will say
you culture appropriate.
it was a great action movie. I owned it on VHS, seen it more than once. But the premise is old, switching places, whatever. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you that the dub scene wasn't cool on Castor Troy. I'm not going to tell you it wasn't good for what it was.
It's fine.
Thank God.
But I'm just glad Nicolas Cage didn't get the role because thank God we found America found Christoph Waltz.
Yes, that would have been horrible. Oh wait, he was supposed to be Christoph Waltz's character?
Yeah.
No, Christoph Waltz was the second best part of the movie besides Kato.
Yeah, or else
gotta have a great villain.
It would have ended up being a Adrian Brody situation where, remember he did the Sean Paul thing on SNL. He tried to act like a Rastafarian.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't see that.
I never want to see it because I like Adrian Brody a lot. I feel like seeing that would already.
It's like got a banned from SNL.
Adrian Brody trying to speak patois. If that's what he was trying to do, I don't know.
But
that's probably happened.
Okay, it's good to hear that it wasn't him casted in this movie. Then.
Oh yeah, but it was close. It was like, I mean, there's been a lot of like production issues. Like before Jay Chow, it was supposed to be Stephen Chow from Shaolin Soccer and Kung Fu Hustle. In fact, Stephen Chow was going to direct it, but then there was creative differences. Like to a point where Stephen Chow suggested that he has this controller that can control Britt Reed fighting, and Seth Rogen was not about that. It would have been interesting, but
that would have been interesting. Well, would have been a better movie.
Don't know.
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, being that Stephen Chow did Kung Fu and Shaolin Soccer, those are amazing.
That's what would have been a better movie.
I can understand that, but at the same time, you got to have a good fusion.
Or else it could be a bad movie.
Yeah.
I think Seth Rogen should have let him do it and just removed the machine and thought of something else.
Maybe.
Who knows?
It's a small what if situation, but I think the end result still works because Jay Cho was like awesome, as we just said.
Oh yeah. Like I'd have been like, wait, he might know what he's doing because Shaolin Soccer and Kung Fu Hustle are great films. Why should I not let him take part in this?
Yeah. Creative differences. I mean, it's been happening for years and years because I think even before that, Kevin Smith was supposed to direct and he was going to get like Ben Affleck and Jet Li or something like that.
Oh, God.
That wouldn't have worked. Sorry, Kevin. That would, it'd be trying to be too serious. Ben Affleck with Jet Li, the chemistry. I'm guessing a better, more expensive movie, but still not good for different reasons.
It's hard to say. I love Kevin Smith, and
he can direct, but
he can direct, and Ben Affleck could act. It just depends on the type of movie. Like, I mean, doing Dogma together. I mean, that brought out one of Kevin Smith's best films, and then also brought out one of Ben Affleck's best performances.
Best roles as the
best roles ever. Yeah.
Was he Bartleby or was he Loki?
He was Bartleby.
Yep.
Whoa, is that a real? Hold on, wait. That's an actual Dogma figure.
Yeah.
Wow. It's Bartleby from Dogma. I think it's supposed to be in the design of the Clerks cartoon, but it's supposed to be for Dogma. But it's pretty
Clerks
sweet. It's
cartoon.
one of my favorite figures. Yeah.
That was one of his best roles. Him and Matt Dane
and Chris Rock.
Chris Rock is the 13th apostle.
Has 13 apostle.
That Jesus owed some money to.
Brother owed me $5.
Yep. That became a relic in the film, I think.
But either way, that was like one of the things. I'm more like neutral about it, whether it worked or not. Mostly because the end result, Seth Rogen and Jay Cho, were a good pair. A pair that like not a lot of people would think about, but I thought it worked. And I thought it worked in the line of what Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg can do as far as like, camaraderie, friendship, and that sounds corny, but they do a good job. Yeah, where they're friends and then they're not friends again, and in the end they're friends again. Thanks, Nick Kroll.
Yeah. So after watching it, I went to go see if there was any like action figures made from this movie. I know Metacom made a few, but they're like not posable. They're kind of like statues. And then surprisingly, Hardee's and Carl's Jr. had Happy Meal toys in it. So that seems like the most affordable route to go if I was to go look for some.
They did, really?
Yeah.
I wonder if that signifies the movie's not going to do well. Hey, did we get the McDonald's Happy Meal deal? No. Oh, Burger King? No. KFC?
We'd have to check. Yeah, we got to check history. That's a good sign, probably. They don't want to be part
How
of it.
about you only have Happy Meal toys in certain parts of the U.S.? I'm talking Southern Virginia, Midwest.
To be fair, this is a topic for another time, though.
Yes.
Sure.
So X-Men. Actually, I think both X-Men movies, First Class and Days of Future Past, had Carl's Jr. Happy Meal toys.
Really? Okay. Well, I didn't know that because there really isn't a Hardee's or a Carl's Jr. nearby. I have to go all the way to Fredericksburg. Fredericksburg, or maybe like Stafford.
I think you're right. From here, those might be there's not one in Manassas that I know about.
Because
no, it's not true.
Once
Stafford. Yeah, it's one
Stafford, yeah.
Hardee's, yeah.
The only thing I didn't like was how Seth Rogen put up a fight when they were like arguing. I was like, "Come on, man, just kick his ass!" And then he like throws Kato on the foosball table. He's like, "You like that?"
I thought that was funny though. It was like
Weren't they drunk?
It was a well choreographed fight scene. I thought.
They were drunk. I think both were drunk.
You know.
Yeah, because he just found about Cameron Diaz. He was like,
when he did which I don't even know what that means.
It makes me sad that she was a trope again. The whole fight over the female or the girl's issue.
True, but I did like that she did bring in qualities that have nothing to do with like romantic.
Yeah.
I mean, she was pretty much
love
like,
interests.
They were hoping love interest, but she didn't succumb to any of Brit Weird's,
Or Kato.
harassment. Let's just say that
Harassment, correct.
She did help plot the stuff for Green Hornet. She's like, we can fake.
She did push plot.
Yeah. Like it gets shot.
So she had a bigger point. She was not brought down to that role, which I'm glad. In movie or out of movie, she wasn't the damsel in distress. She didn't become the love interest. I like that.
When you think about it, she wasn't the damsel in distress at all. In fact, in the end of the movie, she had to find a way to save Britt Reed, which that was her idea in the end and stuff. So yeah, I like that.
She tried to get the bullet out of his shoulder.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was still there for a while. She found a way to get it out. So smart. That's stuff that movies gloss over.
Staging a shootout in the next day and all right, let's get into the emergency room. I thought that worked very well.
That was good. That's good even now because, like I said, most movies gloss over stuff like that. How do you explain a bullet in your leg? Oh,
yeah. How do you explain no cartilage, Mr. Wayne, in your knees?
Oh yeah, they gloss over that. Like, Mr. Wayne, you've been spelunking every day.
He's like, I wouldn't.
And hold on. This is another topic entirely, but any of these male intelligent industrialists or billionaires or entrepreneurs in comics can fix a lot of problems rather than putting on spandex and going after stuff. They do more than that, including Tony, but for real. Tony wanted to put armor around the world. I think he should have anyway, without the behest of the other hero. Another topic entirely. Batman as well can do more than just dress him in spandex and jump. So wait. Just what are we doing? Just nanites and put a force field around the planet and solve most of our problems and team up the magic group. Different. You get what I'm saying. Different topic. We don't need to go punch or do one case at a time. Let's just solve the world's problems at once with this money, magic, or high engineering or science. What are we doing?
Exactly. Peace in our time.
Yeah. What are we doing?
Well, actually, so let's think about this. So, what if a sequel were to happen? Because I don't
for Green Hornet.
I don't think now I would want them to do a sequel. But let's say the movie was successful enough before and they were coming out with a sequel. What are some things? So, Fun Guy, would you want to see something in that caliber in a sequel, like Britt Reed? Because here's one of the things I wanted to see in a sequel. So we noticed towards the end of the movie, he was trying to sharpen his journalism skills, right? Like be a proper investigative journalist. So I kind of wanted to see that. I want to see something like that in a second movie, and also continuing the mentorship from Lenore, Cameron Diaz's character, mentoring him on that to a point, and hopefully ignoring any sort of like chemistry of a love interest at all.
Yeah, I don't
She's like
want that.
his mentor. I would have wanted them to continue that, and then see Britt Reed become like a better journalist. But maybe since you mentioned like he's not going to do a Shield around the world, but it would have been interesting maybe to see him want to use like journalism to like have a global effect. Like honestly, that would have been interesting because that was one of the other aspects I liked about the Green Hornet was the journalism aspect. I mean, they couldn't focus on it like crazy, but it was a decent amount that sets it apart from other. They do more things about journalism than Batman vs Superman did.
Yes, 100%.
Which that was one of the things I was like disappointed about. Like, where's the Clark Kent, Lois Lane? Nope, they're not doing that. Okay, just Clark Kent's just crying and Lois Lane. Okay, whatever. Anyways, so I would like to see a sequel so the Green Hornet focus more on that aspect of it. I don't know if you guys agree with it.
Ooh, and for the Marvel side, I'd love a what if Tony's plan worked. Forget the vision part, but the part about an armored suit around the world. If that worked, how that affect? I like to see a what if episode.
They'll be coming out to season 2 for that, so we'll see.
If they do that, I would love to see what they come up with.
I was reading to see if there would have been a sequel to this, and there were plans, but they said if it wasn't for filming in LA and having 3D, it would have made money. Because I think I was looking at box office, it was 125 was the budget, and it made about 200 something though. But
wait, it was in 3D?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was.
I told you I saw it in glorious 3D, and I'll admit, 3D was kind of like still a thing at that time, and it was one of the few movies that did try to utilize, the 3D a bit better with the Kato vision.
That's why it makes sense now.
Yeah.
Or
and if you watch the end,
like Fun Guy mentioned the bullet transition, like the
bullet time.
That makes sense.
Or super slow perception.
If they're worse,
bullet time works better.
If they're worse,
but yes, a sequel would be nice because he does investigative role. He tries to expose a large group, and they come after him in his city somehow. Since the car already has better tech, you saw that in the film. So, Albie, I agree.
Yeah,
I would have expected to see a more polished Britt Reed, like he's finally training.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe to a point where, like, I like the Black Beauty car chase scenes. I also want a better balance of car chase scenes, but also hand-to-hand combat scenes.
Have you tried the Fast and Furious franchise? I'm kidding.
Oh, I will say this: it makes money. It makes money.
It makes money. I won't say too much about it. And to be fair, I can't knock it because I've only saw the first 2 Fast and Furious movies.
I've seen 3.
If the car was in those movies, I'm pretty sure it'd demolish anything they had.
Right.
Black Beauty was in Fast Furious, yeah.
The door guns was probably also one of my favorites. You just open the door and you're just like shooting. It doesn't make sense technical wise, but it looks
because they're family
cool
and the Fast movies.
What about the ejection at the end? He's got the 3 parachutes. Yeah.
And then still had the record playing in the back. Yeah. I thought that was fun in a campy sense. I thought that was pretty cool because they had to eject because they had to ram the car into David Harbour and have David Harbour. I mean that was like that was a cool way to kill a villain. But I'm just saying, especially a crooked politician.
Yeah. Do you remember when the flash drive was in his mouth and somebody looks at it and just throws it?
Right.
I did like how Britt Reed's character at the end developed that thing that Kato sees, but then at the last minute he's trying to jump over and he just falls flat.
It doesn't work. It was a good effort. It helped a little bit, but in the end, Kato just needed to get free just to
That was terrible. The way they killed off Wadnowski, the 2 stakes through the eyes, that shit was horrible.
Right. That was brutal, but
I forgot about that. I forgot that scene happened.
he knocked out like the table legs, and like smashed it in his eyes.
Yeah, be it his mask or be it your blood. Red is the last color you'll see. Well, I guess you won't see red. You'll see nothing because he pretty much gets rid of his eyes. I thought that was pretty cool. Well, but also been interesting. Maybe Britt Reed finds a fighting style that works for him. Maybe jiu-jitsu or something like that. Like he probably won't. He probably can't become a kung fu master, but
but he still has the ability now.
Yeah,
like the ability. They should keep that.
And the gas gun.
Yeah, if he just has additions to the gas gun, different cartridges, different types of gas, cayenne pepper, sticky stuff, whatever gimmick they want to go.
Well,
he can use it for shooting.
He
can use his shot for shooting as well. Bullet.
Actually, just shooting. I was laughing when they were chasing him throughout the office building, and he was like firing it off from far away. And the dude in front of Chibnowski just like passed out. He's just like, the fuck?
His mask was off, I guess.
Yeah.
But it was funny when he had a mask and they were like, "You got a mask? I got a mask. So just for yourself?" I liked how.
I guess because we're fans of it, it's hard for me to understand why someone would like. It's hard for me to be like, why didn't it do so well?
We know why.
I think placement too. Like
placement wasn't taken seriously. The cast didn't bring anybody in. It got overshadowed by the other superhero movies. 3D doesn't work unless you're Avatar and maybe The Hobbit.
And who knows?
Go ahead. So the premise, the character being overshadowed, the main actors weren't taken seriously. The previews probably weren't either. There wasn't a pull, right? No one wanted to see it to be funny. No one wanted to see it be serious. No one gave it a chance. That's the biggest.
That's the big.
It came out on January, that too. That's when they usually dump things.
Hey, January is a good month.
Hey, it's a good month because it was my birthday, and that was probably the first time where a movie came out in January. I go like, "Oh wow, I want to see this."
What about Scream? Scream came out this week.
I will say this on record.
I do want to see that. I do want to see the latest Scream.
I will say this on record. I'm not a slasher movie fan. Scream was a well-done movie for the genre, but it's not my thing. Right?
Sure.
That's it. Like I saw No Chill last summer in theaters. I saw Scream. Both are good for different reasons. The Scream reboot's going to make money, but I can admit that it's good for the genre it's in. Not my thing. Sure. I saw Scream. I was like, I wouldn't be scared. And I would blame all my classmates for being one of the killers. And I still wouldn't be scared. I'd be like, all right, one of y'all is killing people. Okay, we're rich. Okay. Yeah, y'all need to stop because I ain't trying to die today. Been stabbed in the back of the bathroom and this is dumb. Like it didn't, you see what I'm saying? I wasn't afraid as a kid when I watched it. I wasn't afraid. It's not, slashers aren't my thing. Supernatural slashers still aren't really my thing. Michael Myers, Jason, some of them are good, some of them are not, but see, I can admit that though. Doesn't mean it's a bad movie. Just no for me.
Just not your thing. Yeah.
It's not my thing. I can admit that.
But vigilante movies are a thing when it's done well.
Yes. They are my thing done well.
Yeah, I think and who knows, maybe if it wasn't in 3D, maybe unfortunately you wouldn't have to see it in all the glorious things. But if it wasn't in 3D, maybe like I said, maybe the profit margin would have been better, so we could have seen it equal. And I think I'm sure I know you've seen. I don't know how many you've just seen the James Franco roast. They make fun of Seth Rogen about Green Hornet. It's one of those things that people like to joke about in his career, but like I applaud the guy for at least trying. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he went out the box. He made something that,
and I think that's that wasn't fair for him for the criticism for that. Like, oh, it was the worst. But like he actually went and tried to do something different in his career. You know?
And he resurrected based it off another TV series. Like, come on, man.
Let's also remember this probably led to him getting more into the comic book industry because he did produce both The Boys. He and Evan Goldberg both produced The Boys, and they also both produced Invincible.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
So they're the reasons why those things are like, you know, I don't know how they're involved with like the deep into production. I don't know if they wrote any scripts or directed any episodes, but they still
put in the money.
They put in the money to put that in. So
that
has to mean something.
If Seth or anybody else that sees this video thank you and your team. It's Seth and who else? Of the producers, who were they?
Evan Goldberg.
For
be
boys and
So I mean, the team is Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg.
Evan Goldberg and Seth.
I'm sure.
Thanks.
There's other people involved, I'm sure, but as far as like recognizable producer names, like they're the ones that like, you know, brought those in. So
because there's no money.
That's what I'm trying to say. They're not dumb. Like they
no,
know what
Invincible's a hit. The Boys works whether you like it or not.
Yeah, it's going into its third season.
Yeah, whether you like The Boys or not, it's something that the fans, not even just fans, but people are interested in watching it.
Yeah.
When the guy greenlit for a third season, you're correct. You're right.
It would be interesting if he's doing all this just so he can get another shot at Green Hornet.
I'd love that.
Hey, you know, now that we've talked about it, I wouldn't mind him coming up with a sequel now. Yeah, Britt Reed's significantly older, but you know what? We can play around with it.
We can call it Green Hornet Beyond. It'll have
Green Hornet, green light for the sequel.
Green Hornet Beyond. It's going to have
hashtag Green Hornet again.
I also kind of wonder. I don't know if they're like best friends or anything, but I'm curious. Can he and J-Cho work together in another movie? Like I don't know. It doesn't have to be a comic book movie, but it's interesting if they work together in another movie. But I don't know. I don't know if it was one of those situations where it was a one and done, and they don't really keep in contact anymore, or you know.
He was a good actor.
Green Hornet was bad, but people like Batman and Robin. I see.
Well, people like that. No, it was more like people like Batman Forever enough to like make a sequel to that, which was Batman and Robin, and that was horrible. But to be fair, Batman's more of a name that everyone recognizes, while Green Hornet. Actually, I think one of y'all mentioned Green Lantern came out like later, so I wonder if people got confused with that. They're like, "What? This is not Ryan Reynolds."
Yeah,
and so Green Lantern had good special effects, but I agree why it was bad. Even though I liked it, I agree why it was bad.
I haven't watched it, to tell you the truth.
I saw it in theater. I was like, okay, the special effects are pretty good.
Same here. Like you mentioned, though, I would say this is infinitely better than Green Lantern.
All day.
Right.
Not even comparison.
No.
Special effects are better in Green Lantern because it came out later, but for plot and acts,
also they probably gave more of a budget to Green Lantern.
For Warner,
I think Seth Rogen also mentioned that the studios didn't focus on the big budget scenes of that movie, so like he didn't get like the attention that
which is still
they needed. So with whatever money they got, I thought they did a good job in Green Hornet.
Oh yeah, for the effects then it still holds up today. I mean, there's some stuff I saw I was like, oh yeah, but a lot of the effects I saw I was like, it still holds up. And plus, it's what Fun Guy likes to call he's a street level or ground level character.
Ground level character.
Literally, the streets of LA, just like they were.
I'd like to see a Kato versus Iron Fist versus Shang-Chi versus who else is another hand-to-hand combat character?
A lot,
yeah.
what universe are you
on, man? It just takes place in the streets of LA.
Shang-Chi already wins unless you bring a heavy hitter from DC or Image or Valiant Comics.
Come on, man.
Because there's not many characters that they're considered superpowered because of the level of martial arts and various martial arts. Not even just martial arts hand in hand, but Shang-Chi, it's technically by definition martial arts.
Well,
the
Kato makes a dank ass coffee. I'm just saying.
But Kato would definitely lose.
And everything.
The way he made that, I was like, oh, that's how they make flowers in the coffee. He's just like,
right. But also like the most like complex like espresso machines or whatever. That was like, but he built
just
it
to make it.
Like,
yeah. I gotta say, his dad, Britt Reed's dad. I'm trying to remember the actor's name. I've seen him in a lot of other movies. He's good at playing.
Tom Wilkinson.
Yeah, he's good at playing that asshole.
Oh, hey, I first saw him as the secret bad guy in Rush Hour.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, Jackie Chan keeps him in Juntao, and you think the Asian guy with the blonde hair is the brains behind it, but then you find out it's Tom Wilkinson's character, the British guy.
Yeah.
They're about to do the handover of Hong Kong from England to China, and he was trying to that. I'm probably explaining more of a complicated part of the story of Rush rush hour. But yeah, and
to answer your question, though, I would have loved to see a sequel. But I was so like after this, I kept looking into it and like what was the possible spin-offs. I think I'm trying to remember who got the rights to it because I think they are trying to develop something for Green Hornet now. But like it would be cool if Seth Rogen or some of those people were involved. But I don't understand if he's just trying to put that behind him, which it's been like 11 years. I'm sure it already is. But yeah,
do a TV series again.
Yeah, that could work.
That might be better. Might.
But put it on the right network. I don't want it on CW or anything like.
Oh my god!
No, it needs to be. It needs to grow. It needs legs to grow. And
it needs
a
to be
higher budget. No.
It needs to be on HBO or something.
I want Seth Rogen's redemption of Green Hornet, and it'd be better as a TV series. I think. More room to grow, like I said. Yeah, I would explain to people like, why do you think it's not going to be bad? I would say, do you, with your free time, read as many comics from non-important or non-seen famous issues or TV series than I do? That's what I'd say to the person. It made me come off as comic guy from Simpsons, but I'd have to answer my question. Like the answer is no, right? Yeah. Then how do you know better than me in this situation? What's your resume look like?
And there's like
I feel like
it's a different style, but there's like so many other comic book movies or superhero movies that I can name that I wouldn't watch, and I'd watch this over that movie. Like I'd watch the Green Hornet over said movie. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we said we'd watch it over Green Lantern. I'd watch it over Fantastic Four.
Oh,
honestly,
man!
I'd watch it over Aquaman. I'd watch it over.
What?
You know, yeah,
Aquaman was good, but
I thoroughly enjoyed this because it's like, okay, it has a nice balance of the comedy and then also has good action sequence. It has talented actors, despite what people might think. That's why I like this. I actually really enjoy the movie. It makes me sad to hear like, because I always wanted to watch it when it first came out. And like now that I finally saw it, I'm kind of sad that it's like there's nothing that will come from this anymore.
Yeah, they were going to move on. Actually, I know I liked it. Not only because of my first time watching, but I know I liked it because I actually found the Blu-ray.
Oh my god! Let's go ahead and full screen this. He's got the
I found it on Blu-ray. I forgot where I got it from. I don't know if
you're a true fan
or Best Buy, but I got the Blu-ray, and then special features and all that.
Look at you! And the deleted scenes. True fan.
Yeah.
The outfits aren't bad either. I like the outfits.
No, the outfits are bad. No one better talk about the costumes.
Yeah. Who I thought it was like. What would you rather rock? Spandex with a guy in shorts or that? I'd rather rock the trench coat.
Every time. I'd rather rock Kato's outfit than most big budget. I'm gonna say this on record again. I'm tired of spandex clad heroes. They need to change that out forever. I know why. I researched why it was done in the comics. We need none of that. None of that anymore. Stop. Any new hero that has no 1950s, 60s Excelsior or DC background, just no more spandex. Please stop. Unless it's part of the story.
That's why
I don't mind the spandex, but there needs to be a variety.
Yeah.
Okay.
As long as you make it like look modern, like we saw Cap's unitard in Avengers 1, but they modernized it to make it look like, you know what I mean?
It does look better.
Yeah,
they knew it didn't work, and then they made it better.
And to your point though about the outfit, like, yeah, I would rock that trench coat and fedora and look like a 50s fucking like John Dillinger over, looking like one of the I like the outfits.
I also like the mask, like how they made the mask. Like you would think, oh, it's just a cloth mask that they put on, but then you saw Kato like make it in iron and stuff, and
that was
spray
cool.
painting it, and
it
was like a good subtle green.
And they didn't have to wear guy liner like Batman, dude.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. That's how they went.
That's where we're going to see Robert Pattinson doing. I'm not wearing hockey. Hey, they were wearing slacks. I don't know what to say for slacks. Hey, they were all about the because you don't even dress nice. You know, look at me. We got Armani, Gucci, another Armani, tailor made. And then you just look like Disco Santa Claus.
James Franco's like
Chindowski.
Sean Knopf. There was a line that Kato said to Rogan. I'm trying to remember what it was, and he did one of his stupid things. I think it was something that was Japanese, and Britt Reed's like, "Yeah, China, I got it," or something like that.
Oh no, I remember. He goes like, I'm from Shanghai, and then Zucker goes like, oh, I love Japan.
Yeah, that's what.
Oh yeah, completely got it wrong. I love Japan.
Also, he was saying something in Chinese. I don't know the exact how it was Shan Yi or something. Shan Yi or something means brother. But then like later on, like Britt Reed was like, why are you fighting me, man? We're supposed to be like brothers. We're supposed to be like Sean D.
Oh man.
Oh.
In
conclusion, chocolate, cheese, watches. We give you the Switch. Sorry, that's from Boy Meets World. In conclusion, Frank Caliendo was never funny, but I loved the Green Hornet, and I genuinely, it was one of those things that I was watching. I'm like, okay, cool. Like I actually enjoyed it, and like I said, I liked it, but it's also bittersweet because it's like, it's something that's never going to get revisited for those specific people.
Yeah. The stigma.
Yeah.
This kind of goes into the list of movies we've been retro viewing, like on like If Only.
Mystery Man. Yeah.
Mystery Man. Man, that was well
done. King
done.
Arthur. We did King Arthur the other day.
I don't see why people hate King Arthur either, guys. We got to find more movies like this.
I don't know.
Okay, the next one we should probably plan on is something from Clash or Wrath of the Titans. I'm genuinely curious what you guys would think about that.
Wrath of the Titans, I remember watching it.
Hey, if you think, I'll watch that.
I love the original too,
King Arthur
from the 70s.
I
like the original from the 70s more though than the new Wrath of the Titans.
Oh come on, man! It's got
I like the original. I mean, release the Kraken. I was saying it for months. I was saying it for years actually in his accent. But I don't think it's a bad movie. But I'll watch it again. Give my honest opinion.
I'll watch it again too.
I'll try and watch it tomorrow if I can.
Yeah,
if I can.
Well, any other conclusions from y'all before we sign off tonight? I do want to say thanks for being on brand with a green shirt tonight, Albie.
Yeah.
Even
part of your costume.
The background light's green. I just noticed that.
Lower left.
I got the light you told me to get, so I got it. I haven't shined here. You got the classic, not that the classic Batmobile.
Yeah.
Which in conclusion, one, I'm glad I didn't wear my Green Bay Packer shirt because if we saw in the movie.
Oh, sorry. That's another thing. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. When they just started murking anybody with a green shirt, I lost it. I was like, what the fuck?
When the Packer fan got shot, I thought that was hilarious.
Sure. He just kept killing. Okay, my bad. Go ahead.
What is a Packer fan doing in LA? Picked the wrong time. No, I thought that was hilarious. And that was also another example of Michel Gondry's like vision of like how the message gets like across and the screens start to split over and over again. Mm-hmm. So in conclusion, I thought this was a risk. It was a huge risk. It was a bold attempt. Unfortunately, it didn't come to anything more, but I thought like the end result like worked more than it should. It definitely deserved a lot more praise. And I hope like other, or maybe we don't know, but maybe other directors did take note of that, and then maybe we saw other movies came out that maybe it influenced, but they didn't want to say it because it's easy to make fun of Green Hornet. But I think people should actually watch it to give it a chance.
Yeah, it's an easy movie to make fun of, poke fun at Seth Rogen, or just poke fun in general. It's hard to challenge, easy to make fun of. That's how I'd say. Hard to challenge and see if it's good or bad, but easy to make fun of.
All right.
But that's why we're the LonelyFans.
Easy to bully the film.
Yeah, exactly.
We're the only ones who think this movie's decent at all. I guarantee you. Find friends and family that think it's decent. Let them watch it sober and see what they think.
And here's the thing, too. Find friends that think otherwise, that think it's bad, and ask if they've actually watched it and see it.
Yeah. Right. Did they actually watch the movie?
Exactly. Yeah.
And were they paying attention to the movie? Did they finish it? Did they pay attention? I guarantee you most either haven't watched it, did pay attention, judge it before they watched it, and finish it and said it was still bad.
Yeah. They're going in going like, wait, this is not like Batman. I go,
no, it's not.
They're doing
a lot of Batman movies are bad.
Exactly.
Yeah, actually,
High
there's probably
budget, but
more
not
bad
really
Batman.
good.
There's probably more bad Batman movies than there are good ones, actually.
I agree.
Whew. That's okay. Now it's interesting. It's a topic.
That's another.
Exactly.
Yeah. So now I'm thinking of it.
There's a lot of different types of animated and live action Batman movies. So
Yeah.
since Batman's been created,
Yes.
shark repellent.
Cool.
And since
Well,
we know our consensus, if you watch this, whoever the replay crew is that watches this later, let us know what you all think.
Be honest. If you don't like it, you don't
yeah.
like it. But give it a shot.
We're
Get
gonna
it fair.
currently,
Sober.
currently it's on HBO Max, so you can watch it there, or you can borrow my Blu-ray.
Yes, he will mail you the Blu-ray. If we get 2,000 subscribers after this, he will mail you this Blu-ray signed by Alvin.
My God.
Signed
2,000
by Alfred,
subscribers.
yes.
2,000
That's
subscribers.
right,
Guys.
also.
Let's go.
I
Not
think there's
1,000.
a coffee
2,000.
stand on here too, so yeah,
It makes it more unique.
It's even more on brand of the.
It's on
All
brand.
right. Thank you all for joining us. I'm Carson Daly from the Birthday Boy Albie and a fun guy. Frank Caliendo was never funny. Have a good night.
I forgot who that was.